just been chilling right here in Cuba. Life has been good.
From the dusty parking lots of Cuba, where Pac's seen laughing it up with fans, to that viral 2014 Celtics game clip. It's been almost 30 years since Tupac's death, and people still swear he's out there somewhere. These clips have kept the mystery alive, making some fans believe Pac never truly left. Let's start with the legendary Cuba parking lot video. This one dropped fans' jaws the moment it hit the internet. In the footage, allegedly taken in sunny Cuba, a man who looks exactly like Tupac is seen chilling in a parking lot, talking to locals, and even signing autographs like the superstar he was. The video quality is terrible, like something straight from an early 2000s flip phone. The camera shakes all over the place before focusing on a guy with Pac's signature features. Same slim build, those sharp cheekbones, and that clean goatee that defined his mid-90s look. At one point, the dude even turns to the camera and drops phrases like, "Holla back." Straight up Pac energy right there. But why Cuba, though? Conspiracy believers say Pac escaped there to meet up with his aunt, Assata Shakur, who's been living in Cuba under political asylum for decades. Assata, a former Black Panther activist, broke out of a U.S. prison back in 1979 and has been staying safe in Cuba ever since. For many fans, that's not just family, that's protection, a perfect setup for Pac to disappear and stay off the radar. What really sent people into a frenzy was the timing. This clip resurfaced right after Tretch from Naughty by Nature casually mentioned in a 2010 interview that he saw Tupac in Cuba. From that moment, the internet went wild. The same blurry footage that had been whispered about in underground forums for years suddenly exploded into the mainstream, and fans couldn't stop debating whether Pac had really pulled off the greatest disappearing act in music history. Fans couldn't stop pointing out the man's energy, that same bold confidence, the swagger, even the shape of his eyes. Everything screamed Pac. Some diehard believers even went a step further, claiming they ran voice analysis tests that matched the speech patterns almost perfectly to Tupac's. The tone, the rhythm, the way he dragged certain words, all of it felt like a ghost, straight out of the 90s, was speaking through that footage. But not everyone's buying it. Skeptics were quick to throw shade, pointing out some serious red flags. The biggest one? Not a single tattoo in sight. Tupac's ink wasn't just body art, it was part of his identity. From the famous thug life across his abs to the cross on his back and the 2 PAC on his chest, his tattoos were like his personal story carved in skin. Yet, in these clips, nothing. Just smooth skin and bad camera angles. Convenient, right? That low-quality footage doesn't help either. It's so grainy you'd think it was shot on a flip phone from 2002. With details blurred out, believers say it's real, while skeptics claim it's either a clever lookalike cashing in on the fame or straight-up edited footage built to fool the internet. But then came the Suge Cuba video, and that one sent conspiracy fans spiraling into a whole new level of madness. This next piece of supposed evidence dropped like a bomb on YouTube, gaining over 3 million views and sparking thousands of heated debates. The clip allegedly shows Tupac hanging out with Suge Knight in Cuba during what people claim was a 2004 music video shoot. Now, it's the same kind of old-school blurry recording. You mostly see the back of a man's head as he laughs and chops it up with Suge. But fans who've studied Pac's every move swear the gestures, the way he tilts his head, the smirk, all of it is a carbon copy of Tupac. They're convinced no actor could mimic that kind of presence. Still, the haters weren't impressed. They pointed out again, no tattoos, no clear face, and just enough movement to stir curiosity, but not confirm anything. Some even said it looked like a body double getting paid to act out the role, while others insisted it was edited to keep the Pac is alive legend alive. But here's where things get really wild, the Suge Knight connection. Back in 2014, during that now infamous interview with Ice-T, Suge said something that had the whole internet losing its mind. He basically hinted that Tupac never died. That's right. Suge implied Pac survived the Vegas shooting and went off-grid. He said it so casually that fans didn't know whether to laugh, panic, or start digging through archives for proof. When people matched his statement to this Cuba footage, conspiracy theories went into overdrive. Supporters claimed it all lined up too perfectly to be coincidence, saying Suge might have helped Pac pull off the ultimate escape plan. Some even claimed there was a helicopter involved, sneaking Pac out of the hospital before anyone could confirm his death. According to believers, the whole thing was a staged setup. a fake death to free Pac from the East versus West beef that was spiraling out of control. After all, that war had already taken multiple lives and was threatening to take more. Maybe Pac decided to dip out before the streets claimed him for good. Whether fact or fantasy, this theory refuses to die, just like the man himself, Tupac Shakur. Back in 2012, a YouTube video titled "Tupac is Alive, Never Seen Before" video from 2004 exploded online, pulling in millions of views and igniting one of the wildest internet debates ever. Fans flooded the comments, analyzing every single frame like detectives, every gesture, every laugh, every glance. People were zooming in, slowing the footage down, comparing it to real clips of Pac, convinced their hero was still out there living his best life somewhere off the grid. But critics weren't having it. They fired back, saying the footage was way too blurry and suspicious. There were no front-facing shots, no clear proof, just side angles and quick movements that could be anybody. Some experts even spelled it out: MISDIRECTION. They claimed the video was deliberately edited to mess with people's emotions and keep the Pac is Alive legend burning. Then came the 2020 documentary, Tupac, The Great Escape from UMC, which dove deep into these wild theories. The doc connected all the dots, from the Cuba videos to the hospital escape rumors, but in the end, it found no solid proof that Tupac survived. Still, fans refused to let it go. Even in 2025, the same clips keep popping up on TikTok and Facebook, this time mixed with AI-generated footage so realistic it's hard to tell what's real anymore. Tech experts have called most of these videos out, saying they're low-effort fakes made just to go viral and grab those sweet clicks. Forensic analysts have picked apart frame after frame, pointing out inconsistencies, lighting errors, digital artifacts, even mismatched shadows. But even when proven fake, new ones keep coming because people just want to believe Pac beat the system and disappeared. Then things got even crazier with what came next. The New Orleans bar photos. Picture it, 2009. Bourbon Street, the heart of New Orleans nightlife, music, neon lights, crowds everywhere. Suddenly, TMZ drops a set of photos that stop the internet cold.
Alright guys, so these are the pictures TMZ says they took of Pac back in 2009 when they said he was at a bar in New Orleans.
It wasn't some grainy, low-res nonsense. These were clear images, sharp enough to make even skeptics double take. The dude had Tupac's high cheekbones, the same goatee, that confident expression. Everything matched what fans imagined Pac would look like in his late 30s or early 40s. In the photos, he looks completely relaxed, just vibing at Bourbon Rock's bar, not even noticing someone snapping pics. No security, no hiding, just a man enjoying a night out like anybody else. When TMZ got hold of the images, they ran with it. Loud headlines, bold claims, the whole thing. The story blew up overnight, turning Bourbon Street into the new Tupac spotting zone. People swarmed New Orleans hoping to catch a glimpse, while others dug up local footage from that same night, trying to prove it was real. Whether it was a lookalike, a lucky coincidence, or something deeper, one thing was clear: the legend of Tupac's survival wasn't fading anytime soon. The headline read loud and clear, "Tupac is alive." And just like that, the internet lost its mind. TMZ followed up with even more photos, and according to their reporting, the DJ at the venue, a dude named MC Difficult, supposedly shouted from the booth, "Give it up for Tupac!" The crowd went wild. People were screaming, filming, and posting all over the internet like they had just witnessed history unfold right in front of them. Within hours, those photos were everywhere. Hip-hop blogs, message boards, Reddit threads, and Facebook groups were flooded with debates. From the block to the burbs, everyone had an opinion. Fans were zooming in on every single pixel, comparing facial angles, skin tone, and expressions like real-life detectives. Wrap Up and countless hip-hop news outlets ran full breakdowns, analyzing side-by-side images of the man and the real Tupac from the 90s. What really threw people for a loop was a small mark on the man's scalp. Hardcore Pac fans instantly recognized it, a detail they swore matched a known feature from old photos of Tupac. That little mark became the internet's new obsession. People were convinced this was the proof they'd been waiting for, that Tupac had somehow slipped away and popped back up years later, living free and under the radar. But just when the hype hit its peak, reality checked in hard. TMZ issued a clarification saying the man in the photos was most likely a local lookalike named William, not Tupac Shakur. Online investigators, the same ones who had blown the story up, started to notice differences once they slowed down. The guy's ear shape was off, his height didn't line up, and his body frame was slightly different when compared to Pac's verified measurements. Even with all that proof, fans refused to let go. Every few years, the photos resurface again like clockwork, especially when Tupac's name starts trending. And here we are in 2025. The same Bourbon Street pics are back on Facebook and Instagram. People are still zooming in on that scalp mark, reposting it like it's new evidence, and arguing in the comments like it's a courtroom battle. This time, even AI detection tools got involved. They confirmed there was no digital manipulation in the photos, meaning they weren't photoshopped at all. The man in those images was real, just not the man everyone thought he was. The truth? He was simply an uncanny doppelganger caught in the right place at the perfect time, sparking yet another wave of Pac is alive frenzy across the internet. But hold up, the story doesn't stop there. Our journey next takes us across the Atlantic to Sweden, where another bizarre sang up the crowd and commanding the mic like he'd never left. The energy was insane. The man moved just like Pac. Same rhythm, same hand gestures, even that intense stare he used to give the crowd before dropping a line. Fans instantly labeled it the Sweden rapping video and claimed it was the ultimate proof that Pac was alive and secretly making music overseas.
It's supposedly Tupac in 2012. He's reportedly living in Sweden and has schizophrenia.
What made this one so fascinating wasn't just how similar the guy looked, but the context. Sweden isn't exactly the first place you'd expect to find Tupac performing in disguise. People started digging, checking concert lineups, tracing venues, analyzing background posters, even breaking down the accents of people in the audience to see if it matched the location. Whether real or fake, the Sweden video reignited the fire once again. Some fans swore it was Pac hiding in plain sight, while others said it was just another uncanny double. But one thing's for sure. Every time new evidence drops, the legend of Tupac's survival gets stronger, and the mystery just keeps getting deeper. Sweden might sound like a random, almost impossible place for Tupac to reappear if he were really alive, but that's exactly why some fans believe it makes perfect sense. They argue that if Pac wanted to stay under the radar, what better place than a quiet European country where almost nobody would expect to see him? It's the kind of spot where a legend could test the waters, perform just enough to feel that rush again, without catching the wrong kind of attention. The theory goes like this. If Tupac wanted to feed that creative hunger that made him who he was, the poetry, the energy, the truth-telling, he might have chosen a small venue in Europe, far away from the US spotlight. No industry people, no paparazzi, no one from death row, just a stage, a mic, and a crowd too young to remember him firsthand. That way, he could perform freely, almost like an underground artist testing out a new identity. And that's exactly what made this Sweden video so chillingly convincing. The man in the clip had it all: the high cheekbones, the goatee, the same body language. Even the way he moved across the stage had that classic Pac rhythm. He held the mic the same way, nodded his head to the beat the same way. Fans swore it couldn't just be coincidence. YouTube comment sections blew up instantly. People were slowing the video down frame by frame, comparing screenshots and dissecting every little movement like it was an FBI case. Supporters of the theory argued the resemblance was too real to fake. They pointed out the same facial structure, the sharp jawline, the slight squint when he rapped. Details that, according to them, no impersonator could ever pull off perfectly. They said it wasn't just about looks, it was the energy, the aura. For believers, this was Pac. Older, wiser, maybe more low-key, but still very much alive. But not everyone was convinced. Critics came in hot, picking the performance apart. They pointed out that while the guy had the look, he didn't quite have the soul. Tupac wasn't just a rapper, he was a storyteller, a force, someone who poured every ounce of emotion into his words. The flow in the Sweden clip, it was decent, but it didn't have that fire, that raw intensity that made Pac one of the greatest to ever touch a mic. And then there was the biggest red flag of all: no tattoos. Fans and skeptics alike know Tupac's tattoos weren't just decoration, they were part of his legacy. From thug life across his stomach to the 2PAC on his chest, his ink told the story of his struggle and pride. But in this footage, the performer's arms and chest looked clean, which immediately had people calling foul. Still, theorists fired back with their own spin, saying if Pac really was living in secret, he might have gotten those tattoos removed or covered to stay hidden. Some even claimed the lighting and low quality of the video could have made them invisible. The debate turned wild, one side calling it a clear fake, the other doubling down, insisting the differences were intentional. When the clip first hit YouTube, it exploded across the web, especially in Reddit's r/Tupac forum. Threads went on for pages, with users posting long essays breaking down every movement, every lyric, every camera angle. Some even claimed they heard hints of Pac's real voice tone buried under the grainy audio. Others said if this truly was Tupac, maybe years away from fame had changed his voice and slowed down his flow. The mystery only deepened as the video kept resurfacing over the years, with fans reanalyzing it every time new technology or AI filters came out. Whether it was a masterful lookalike or the man himself performing under a new identity, one thing's for sure. The Sweden video reignited the obsession, because if that was Tupac, it would mean he didn't just survive. He thrived in silence, halfway across the world, still chasing the art that defined his soul. Some believers had a different take. They said if Pac had survived all these years, his style naturally would have changed. He wouldn't sound the same 20 years later. His flow, his tone, even the way he performed would evolve with age and wisdom. Maybe the softer delivery wasn't a flaw. Maybe it was proof of growth. Fans argued that time away from fame would have reshaped his energy, giving him a more grounded vibe, like a legend rapping from the shadows, not for fame, but for the love of it. But while the Sweden performance had people divided, another shocking sighting would blow up the internet all over again. And this time, it didn't happen in some hidden corner of the world. It went down in public, in front of thousands of people and national TV cameras. That's right, we're talking about the Boston Celtics game footage. It was March 5th, 2014.
When they say, what are they chanting? They're chanting, let's go Tupac, because Tupac was apparently at the game.
The Boston Celtics were facing off against the Golden State Warriors at TD Garden. The game itself was nothing special. Celtics were getting smoked, and fans were half asleep in their seats. But then something completely unexpected happened. Something that would send shockwaves across the internet. Arena cameras panned across the crowd, and there he was, a man rocking a nose stud, a bandana tied to the front, and a goatee that looked identical to Tupac's signature style. The resemblance was so wild that people thought the broadcast team was running an old-school prank. But when the man's face popped up on the massive jumbotron, the crowd lost it. Fans started chanting, "Tupac, Tupac, Tupac," right there in the middle of the game. You could hear it echoing through the entire arena. Even the commentators couldn't believe what they were seeing. The camera stayed on him just long enough for people at home to start recording, and within minutes the clips were all over YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Different angles started surfacing from fan phones in the official game broadcast, every shot showing the same man sitting casually, smiling, just vibing like nothing was happening. The internet exploded with theories. Some swore it was Tupac himself, older, maybe hiding in plain sight, blending in with regular crowds to see if he could still move freely without anyone realizing. Sports blogs like Boston Magazine, NBC Sports Boston, and Larry Brown Sports jumped on the story instantly. They ran full articles titled things like "Tupac spotted at Celtics game" and "The Return of the King." Everyone from sports fans to hip-hop heads was talking about it. To the casual viewer, it might have looked like just a funny moment, a random lookalike getting caught on camera. But to hardcore Pac believers, this wasn't just coincidence. This was confirmation. They said it was proof Pac had mastered the art of blending in, living low-key, and enjoying normal life without anyone truly catching on. According to conspiracy theorists, this sighting fit perfectly into the bigger picture. The idea that Pac had faked his death and was living quietly across different places under the radar. The basketball game theory became one of the most convincing stories yet. Tupac, the man who once lived under constant spotlight, was now free enough to sit courtside, watch a game, and blend with the crowd like any other fan. It even lined up with something fans already knew: Tupac's love for basketball. He wasn't just a casual fan. Pac was a legit hoops lover who often played pickup games with friends, rocked NBA jerseys, and rapped about the sport in his lyrics. So seeing someone who looked exactly like him at an NBA game just felt too poetic to be random. By the end of that week, every corner of the internet was buzzing. Memes, theories, and debates everywhere. Some said it was divine irony. Others said it was proof he'd outsmarted everyone. Whatever people believed, one thing was clear: that Celtics sighting reignited the legend like never before, reminding the world that Tupac Shakur's story was far from over. Tupac's love for basketball wasn't random. It was something he talked about all the time. In interviews, lyrics, and casual conversations, Pac often mentioned his respect for the game and how it reminded him of real life. Fast, unpredictable, and full of hard lessons. So when the Celtics game footage hit the internet, it didn't feel impossible. It felt almost too perfect. When the mystery man's face flashed on the Jumbotron, he reacted in a way that sent conspiracy fans spiraling even further. He smiled, just a calm, knowing smile, like someone used to the spotlight. He didn't wave, didn't panic, didn't try to hide. He just grinned awkwardly while the crowd went wild, chanting, "Tupac! Tupac!" all around him. That tiny moment became the internet's next obsession. Theorists slowed down the footage, zoomed in on his smirk, and claimed his body language said it all. They argued his cool composure wasn't normal for an average person suddenly recognized by thousands of screaming fans. It was the reaction of a man who had been famous before. Some even said the smile looked just like Pac's old smirk when interviewers tried to press him with tricky questions. But as usual, the truth was way less dramatic. The man was soon identified as a local Boston resident, a known Tupac lookalike who had attended multiple Celtics games before that night. People who knew him personally came forward, saying he loved the attention and would even dress like Tupac on purpose for fun. He wasn't hiding, he was just vibing. Once that came out, the mystery started to fade. The lack of tattoos, no voice confirmation, and the guy's public identity shut the case down fast. The Celtics' Tupac sighting was officially debunked. Just another viral moment born from the world's refusal to let go of a legend. But only a few months later, the fire reignited. This time, the spark came straight from the BET Awards, and it all started with none other than Snoop Dogg himself. On June 29, 2014, Snoop posted a photo on Instagram that instantly broke the internet. The picture showed him sitting in the audience at the BET Awards, but right in front of him sat a man with a nose stud, a front-tied bandana, and those unmistakable Tupac-like features. The man's sharp cheekbones, deep-set eyes, and calm expression looked way too familiar. The internet exploded overnight. Fans flooded the comments, yelling things like, "That's Pac," and "He came back to see Snoop." Hashtags like hashtag Tupac Lives and hashtag Pac at BET started trending within hours. For die-hard believers, this wasn't just a coincidence. It was destiny. The idea that Tupac would reappear at a high-profile Hollywood event, sitting quietly near one of his closest friends, felt like something straight out of a movie. And it wasn't just random either. Snoop and Tupac's connection ran deep. Back in the 90s, they were brothers in music, dropping the legendary two of America's Most Wanted and changing hip-hop forever. They'd been through the highs, the drama, the fame, and the fallout of the death row era together. So for fans, seeing Pac sitting right there at an event with Snoop in the same building felt almost poetic, like a secret reunion only the chosen few could catch. But here's the twist. Snoop never said a word about it. No caption hint, no comment, no denial. He just let the post live. Bet's official coverage of the night also stayed silent, with no mention of any Tupac sighting whatsoever. Eventually, the man in the photo was identified as another attendee who simply looked eerily similar to Tupac. Same features, same style, wrong person. Still, that didn't stop the online chaos. Even after the truth came out, thousands of fans refused to accept it. "Of course they're covering it up," one comment read. "They don't want us to know Pac's alive." Others claimed Snoop's silence was the confirmation, that he knew Pac was alive but couldn't say it publicly. It was another case of how badly people wanted to believe, and that desire hit new heights with what came next: the California photo with Rihanna. In 2015, a new image surfaced online that sent social media into meltdown. The picture appeared to show Tupac himself, older but unmistakable, standing at a California bar next to global pop star Rihanna. In the image, Pac was supposedly buying drinks, dressed in a casual denim outfit with his classic nose stud and bandana combo. Rihanna was laughing, leaning in like they were mid-conversation, like two friends catching up. The photo spread across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter like wildfire. Headlines popped up everywhere. Tupac and Rihanna partying in LA? People lost it. The idea that Pac could not only be alive, but out partying with one of the biggest stars of the modern era was too wild to ignore. But soon enough, reality came knocking again. Digital forensics experts jumped in fast, and what they discovered exposed the truth behind the madness. The California bar image was a product of pure digital Photoshop trickery. Someone had taken an old image of Rihanna from a nightclub event and merged it with a manipulated photo of Tupac, blending the two so smoothly that it looked real at first glance. Even though the picture was completely fake, it still racked up millions of likes and shares. That level of virality showed just how powerful the Tupac myth remained. Decades later, people still wanted to believe he had cheated death and was out there living free, smiling, and maybe even hanging with Rihanna in some hidden LA bar. And that's the wild part. Even when the truth gets exposed, the legend of Tupac Shakur keeps finding new life in every blurry photo, every grainy clip, and every wild theory that dares to say, maybe he's still out there. The fake Tupac and Rihanna photos spread across Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, everywhere. It was reposted thousands of times by fan pages, meme accounts, and hip-hop forums. For younger fans, the ones who grew up streaming Pac's music on Spotify and discovering his videos on YouTube years after his death, the idea of him hanging out with modern artists didn't sound too crazy at all. In an age where deepfakes and AI edits blur the line between real and fake, this image hit a nerve. And honestly, the connection to Rihanna made it feel emotionally believable, even if it wasn't factually real. Rihanna has never hidden her love for Tupac. She's got a Thug Life tattoo inked across her knuckles in his honor, and she's talked multiple times in interviews about how Pac inspired her attitude, her artistry, and her confidence. So when fans saw that photo of her with Tupac, it hit differently. It looked like the past and the present colliding, hip-hop's rebel king and R&B's fearless queen vibing like old friends. But for anyone who knew their way around Photoshop, the hoax was obvious. The lighting didn't match, the angles were off, and Tupac's image had that old-school 1990s film texture, while Rihanna's looked sharp and modern. Experts broke it down instantly, pointing out the mismatched shadows, blurred outlines, and visible edit marks that made the image fall apart under close inspection. It was a sloppy splice, Tupac's head cut from an old promo photo and pasted onto a random guy at a bar with Rihanna. Big outlets like Vogue, BET, and Entertainment Tonight ignored the fake entirely, but reminded readers of Rihanna's real tributes to Tupac, including her tattoos and the way she's honored his legacy through style and interviews. By 2023, even TikTok creators were clowning the image, labeling it one of the most obvious hip-hop hoaxes ever made. But guess what? Despite all that, it still pops up online today. People repost it, debate it, and some still swear it's real. That's how deep this legend runs. People want to believe. But the next twist in this story took things to a whole new level, one that hit closer to Tupac's original circle than ever before.
Suge Knight's son is bringing this one back to life. Tupac Shakur didn't actually die in '96 and is still alive and well. Suge Jr. has been posting images of Tupac posing with celebs, saying that the rapper lives in Malaysia now and the Illuminati knows all about it.
This wasn't coming from some random YouTube theorist or Reddit thread. This time the claim came from Suge Knight Jr., the son of Death Row Records co-founder himself. In October 2018, the entire conspiracy world exploded when Suge Knight Jr. jumped on Instagram and dropped a bombshell. He started posting photos and videos that he claimed were proof that Tupac Shakur was alive, and not just alive, but living comfortably in Malaysia. The images were wild. They showed a middle-aged man with Tupac's same facial features, wearing a bandana and a hoodie, posing with modern-day celebrities, including Beyoncé and 50 Cent. The captions were even crazier. Suge Jr. wrote things like, "He never left us, and they don't want you to know the truth." It didn't stop there. He even posted short clips of himself being followed in his car, claiming mysterious figures were threatening him for exposing the truth about Tupac's whereabouts. Fans were losing their minds. Screenshots of the post spread instantly, and within hours, major outlets like XXL, Esquire, Global News, and Hip Hop DX were covering the story. For the first time in years, the Tupac is alive theory had a major insider connection. This wasn't just another fan theory. This was the son of Suge Knight, the man who was literally sitting next to Tupac the night he was shot in Las Vegas. That alone gave the story a kind of credibility that none of the earlier conspiracies ever had. Fans went wild trying to decode the pictures, zooming in on details, comparing them with old photos, and even tracking Malaysian backgrounds and locations to see if any matched. The story got so huge that it started trending worldwide on Twitter for days. But soon enough, the hype started to fall apart. As the internet pressed for more proof, Suge Knight Jr. began backtracking. He deleted some of his posts, then reposted them again with slightly changed captions. One day he'd say Tupac was alive and living peacefully overseas, and the next he'd say Pac had died but was still releasing music spiritually. His contradictions confused everyone. Even some of his supporters started to question what was really going on. When journalists tried to reach him for interviews, he gave mixed responses. In one post, he hinted he had been silenced, while in another, he said he spoke too soon. People started wondering if it was a publicity stunt or an emotional outburst gone viral. Either way, the damage was done. The internet had already exploded with theories that Tupac was alive in Malaysia, sipping coffee and keeping up with the times. Even though Suge Knight Jr. later admitted he couldn't actually prove anything, the fact that someone from inside Tupac's original world had said it, even for a moment, was enough to breathe new life into one of the most persistent mysteries in hip-hop history. And once again, the legend grew stronger. The lines between truth and fantasy blurred even more, and the world was reminded of one undeniable fact. When it comes to Tupac Shakur, people will always believe there's more to the story. That back and forth from Suge Knight Jr. ended up wrecking his credibility fast. The moment he started contradicting himself, the internet turned skeptical. Forensic experts and photo analysts jumped in immediately, and they didn't hold back. They examined every image and video he posted, breaking them down frame by frame. What they found was damning: inconsistent lighting, warped backgrounds, and clear digital distortion that screamed Photoshop. According to XXL magazine, many of the pictures had unnatural shadows that didn't match the environment, and some of the videos had clear post-production glitches. Proof that something had been tampered with. Video analysts also noticed that the Tupac figure was always filmed at odd angles or in low light, with his face conveniently half hidden by sunglasses or hats. It was just believable enough to make you wonder, but not enough to pass any serious scrutiny. By the time the experts were done, the verdict was clear. The Malaysia photos and clips weren't proof of Tupac's return. They were digitally altered hoaxes, cleverly built to grab attention. But what these hoaxes showed more than anything was how powerful Tupac's myth had become. Even decades later, people were still desperate to see him alive again. And just when everyone thought the wild sightings had finally cooled off, the internet dropped another bomb. This time, the alleged proof didn't come from a random corner of the world or an old blurry tape. It came from right here in the US, and it was way too clear for comfort. Enter the Brooklyn lobby footage. In October 2025, a video started spreading like wildfire on Facebook, supposedly showing Tupac Shakur, or Machiavelli, walking through a housing project lobby in East New York, Brooklyn. The clip was shockingly crisp compared to the old Cuba and Sweden tapes. Full HD, smooth lighting, clean angles. The man in the footage had Tupac's same high cheekbones, goatee, and build, rocking a hoodie and walking with that signature confident stride. At first glance, fans were floored. "This one looks too real," people commented. The clarity made it seem legit. No shaky handheld cam, no dark alley lighting, just a clean shot of a man who looked exactly like Tupac walking through a public building like it was nothing. But that same clarity also made experts suspicious. Within hours, tech analysts began connecting the video to a wave of 2025 viral content. Music teasers, cryptic Instagram posts from up-and-coming rappers, and TikTok accounts dropping mysterious Tupac returns hashtags. The timing was way too perfect. It all pointed to one thing: a coordinated marketing hoax designed to go viral by exploiting the Tupac legend. When deepfake specialists got their hands on the video, the truth became obvious. The facial mapping, lighting transitions, and digital blending all matched patterns used in modern AI-generated deepfakes. It was almost flawless, but not quite. Some frames glitched around the mouth and eyes, exposing subtle digital warping. The clip exploded on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook anyway, gaining millions of views in just a few days. Fans were split. Some die-hard believers claimed this was the realest sighting ever, while others said it was just another example of how far technology can go in tricking people. Memes, reaction videos, and debates flooded timelines everywhere. Tech experts were quick to shut it down, explaining that deepfake tech had advanced so much that anyone with a decent computer could make a realistic Tupac video in hours. They warned that this new era of digital resurrection blurred the line between reality and fiction like never before. And that's what made the Brooklyn footage so important. Not because it was real, it wasn't, but because it marked a turning point in the evolution of Tupac conspiracy culture. Back in the early 2000s, people were dealing with grainy camcorder clips and pixelated photos. But now, in the age of artificial intelligence, we're facing high-definition illusions that even experts have to triple-check. The sad truth? There's no independent verification of the Brooklyn video, and it's widely regarded as just another clever hoax, part of a new era of viral content designed for engagement and clicks. But that hasn't stopped it from circulating non-stop. Even now, as we stand nearly 3 decades after Tupac's death, that same clip still pops up on social feeds, reshared, remixed, debated, and dissected. Because when it comes to Tupac Shakur, people don't just see a rapper who changed music, they see a mystery that refuses to die. And that's what keeps the legend alive. Every photo, every video, every rumor reigniting the same question the world has been asking since 1996. Did Tupac really leave us? Or did he just walk away from the spotlight to watch the world lose its mind trying to find him? Now we've reached the final and most haunting Tupac sighting of them all. The one that didn't come from a blurry camera, a deep fake, or a random fan video, but from inside the hip-hop world itself. This is the Outlaw's video, the ghostly image. Back in 2017, Tupac's former rap crew, the Outlaws, dropped a new music video. But when fans started watching closely, they noticed something strange, something eerie. In one particular scene, as the camera panned across a dimly lit background, a faint, almost translucent face seemed to flicker into view. When viewers paused the video, that ghostly image appeared to have eyes, a nose, and even a goatee, features that looked shockingly similar to Tupac Shakur himself. Eagle-eyed fans went into overdrive. Screenshots flooded Reddit, Twitter, and hip-hop forums as people zoomed in, enhanced, and circled the mysterious shape. Some swore it was Pac's face, hidden in the shadows, quietly watching over his old crew. Others said it was just a trick of the light. But for hardcore believers, this was no coincidence. It was a sign. And the fact that this sighting came from the Outlaws made it hit even harder. These weren't random people. These were Tupac's brothers, his hand-picked protégés, the ones he personally mentored and rode with during his final years. After his passing, they kept his name alive, shouting him out in songs, interviews, and tributes for decades. Their loyalty to Pac was legendary. So when fans spotted that ghostly image in their music video, it didn't feel random. It felt spiritual. Conspiracy theorists split into 2 camps over what it meant. Some believed it was actual proof of a secret collaboration. They claimed Tupac had been quietly working with his old crew behind the scenes, his image or even his voice subtly woven into their art. Others took a more emotional angle, saying the glowing face wasn't physical proof of life, but something deeper, a symbolic presence. They saw it as Tupac's spirit watching over the group, a guardian energy captured on camera for just a brief second before fading back into the shadows. Major outlets like The Sun and Metro even covered the eerie discovery, publishing articles on how fans uncovered what they called Tupac's ghost cameo. For many longtime followers, this moment hit way harder than any street sighting or fan-made clip. It wasn't about proof, it was about connection. It was about the idea that Tupac was still there somehow, still part of the art, still woven into the heart of hip-hop itself. But while believers felt emotional about the image, skeptics stepped in with their own explanations. Video experts ran frame-by-frame analyses of the clip, and what they found was much more ordinary. They concluded that the face was most likely a lighting artifact, a case of pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar shapes, like faces, in random patterns. They found no signs of digital editing or CGI, but also no proof that the image was intentionally placed. It was likely just the perfect mix of light, shadow, and imagination, creating the illusion of Tupac's ghostly face. Still, even the experts couldn't deny how powerful the moment felt. For a generation of fans who grew up with Tupac's music, the sight of that faint face meant something, whether spiritual, emotional, or just nostalgic. It reminded them that legends like Pac never truly disappear. By 2025, following the tragic passing of young Noble, one of the Outlaws' beloved members, that mysterious image took on an even deeper meaning. Fans no longer viewed it as evidence that Tupac survived. They saw it as a symbol of legacy, a poetic coincidence that connected the past and present, keeping Pac's energy alive through the brothers who carried his message long after he was gone. And maybe that's the real truth behind all these sightings. Not proof of survival, but proof of impact. Tupac's words, his passion, his fire, they still echo in every corner of the culture. His presence still feels real because his influence is real. Nearly 3 decades later, the world still can't stop searching for him, in songs, in stories, in shadows, because Tupac Shakur wasn't just a man, he was a movement, and movements like that never die. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more wild stories and deep dives into hip-hop's biggest mysteries. And hey, let me know in the comments what you think. Was that ghostly image in the Outlaws video really Pac's spirit, or just another coincidence? Either way, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace and love.